let's go ahead and kind of take a look at how this will actually work. And so I do appreciate that you may be on a different version of GP. We support actually all the way back to the version 9, as well as the most current Dynamics GP 26. So when we're, say, keying an order in, the reality is a lot of times we're interacting with something like sales order processing. And if you think about all the time to key an order in, what customer, where are we shipping it to, what's the date, what batch ID do I use, the various items, etc. Maybe that takes me 2 to 3 minutes to key an order in. Now multiply that out by the number of EDI orders that we may get on an average day, the invoice associated with it, etc. This is really where that integrated EDI is going to make the most sense. Now this would make for a very, very boring demonstration if I just showed you an order that EDI created. And so let's actually kind of dive a little bit into the solution. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and log into Vantage Point. Now Vantage Point is an unlimited number of users. It is a role-based system, and so I'm currently logged in as an administrator. I can see all of the transactions, some of the key performance indicators, and so the reality is if this is running every minute, once an hour, again, whatever frequency you define, it's looking for rules that you wanted us to enforce. So was the price correct? Is this a valid customer, a valid item, etc.? And we get those notifications both in the application, but more importantly within the emails and pages that you've directed our system to go through. Again, we talked about the notion of configuring our various trading partners. Here, I'm going to actually run through Target as one of my customers. We're actually telling the system, Target is linked to my customer. Here, everyone will recognize the demo data, Aaron Fitz. And so with that target partner, we're doing invoices, purchase orders, ship notifications, the fact that it is production, the fact that it is a customer, we can set up those relationships. Again, whether it's customers, suppliers, third-party logistics, etc. Now, again, we talked about the fact that, we support, those 60-plus transactions into and out of Dynamics GP, so pre-configured. If I were to quote-unquote click the button, we also recognize that, maybe to put that into more of a flow menu. Now again, I'm logged in as an administrator. I have literally every single option turned on. So yes, I'm going to send a PO. Yes, I'm going to send out a PO acknowledgement. Yes, I'm going to process inbound PO changes if those are set up. The reality of your environment is you're only probably going to have a few of these per role. So again, these are configured to your situation, but the order to cash cycle, the procure to pay, i.e. suppliers, logistics and transport, your product management, again, speaking to kind of that e-commerce environment. And again, if I wanted to quote-unquote click the buttons, I could do that. However, what most of my customers do is they take advantage of our automation system. And what the automation system is basically doing is it is automating the process as we go through to say, hey, every few minutes we've got a transaction that we want to automate and send those over. And so through that kind of workflow, I can say what transactions are actually happening, when are those occurring, for the mere fact of, say, sending out an invoice, what are the specific steps that will actually happen? These tasks are actually a configuration of what's specific to your business. For instance, maybe you've got multiple legal entities. Again, we ship with these tasks pre-built, these workflows kind of pre-built. However, in our deployment together, we then tailor that to your specific situation. But armed with the automation, armed with basically the business partners and the documents that we have received, we're actually getting in, raw EDI information. And what's happening with that detail is we actually have a transaction, and we'll kind of right-click here a little bit. This is the raw EDI that your business partner has sent to you. And again, what we've done is we've transformed that in a way that we can now read the actual data. So we've mashed it up with XML. And more importantly, we can take this information and we can look at it in more of the traditional kind of form view. Here's our customer information, here's our line item information, and these are the details that we're now sending over to sales order processing. And so that is basically how the system at a high level is automating the overall transaction flows. Here we kind of demonstrated in inbound sales orders, but again, there's 60 plus other transactions that we're doing.